If your child melts down over the smallest things, is struggling with focus, constantly seems like they're just on edge, like ready for a breakdown, you're not alone. And no, this is not bad parenting, despite what social media will tell you. There's actually a missing piece in their brain development that most doctors are not even talking about. So in this video, I'm going to show you the real reason behind these big emotions. And I mean big emotions. And what you can do to help regulate them, calm them, and help them thrive. So, tantrums and anxiety, these are not always behavioral. I remember from a very young age, my child started acting out when she was just around over 1 years old. I'm like, this actually doesn't make sense. Our child should be balanced. It's a loving home environment. Everything seemed well, but she was acting out. And it's not like discipline would help this 1-year-old. There's no way we're going to spank her or just discipline her negatively. So when it comes to the neurology, if you have overactivity in the brain or imbalances in the brain or underdeveloped brain pathways, then these are considered imbalances in the brain. And no matter how hard you try, the child will not be acting right. They're going to be anxious. They're going to be on edge. They'll have tantrums. It's not like they're willfully being disobedient and disobeying, testing their boundaries. It's literally because the brain is improperly wired, essentially. And some of the brain pathways are underdeveloped, and there's an improper communication from one side to the next. So many kids actually live in a fight or flight state of being. If you've ever looked at your Apple Watch or a Fitbit, we know that it tests heart rate variability. And that's the easy man's heart rate variability. In my office, we do a very advanced check of this. And you can actually find out how stressed out a child's nervous system is. Because when the stress is stuck on, it actually is going to keep their brain on high alert. Imagine someone in a war zone, for example. It's not like they're sleeping soundly. They're going to be on high alert, and any sound will just wake them because they're basically on edge. And it makes it really hard to just regulate emotionally when you're constantly stressed out. We've all been there. I mean, even busy moms, it's like you have so much going on, multiple kids, all these things to balance. It's hard to just be balanced and regulate emotionally. Now imagine how hard that is for a little child, for a toddler, for a baby even. When they're stuck in this fight or flight survival mode, no way are they going to emotionally regulate. The missing piece here is actually the brain-body connection. The brain is the master regulator. We need the brain to be properly activated so that it can pump the brakes, and there needs to be a good communication with the rest of the body. In fact, when the body communicates with the brain and vice versa, there needs to be a very strong connection. All right? Something called sensory integration. And when there is a dysregulation or it's not integrating properly, what can happen is we can actually delay developmental milestones. So, like that baby, the newborn, they only know a few things, and that would be eat, sleep, poop. It's pretty simple, right? But if they don't grow out of that primitive emotional complex and their brain can't regulate properly, they will delay in other milestones typically too. So oftentimes pediatricians miss this because they're looking at symptoms-based care. It's not always pure function care. And many pediatricians will say like, oh, your child will grow out of this. And a lot of parents feel dismissed. They go to their pediatrician, they state their complaints, and they say, I'm a little nervous about this. And oftentimes it gets brushed away. But then time passes and it maybe gets worse. It doesn't change. The child gets older and just kind of like deals with it, but it never goes away. And that's in the back of your mind. It's like, what other systems of the body is this influencing? I mean, the modern pediatricians care so much, and they really do want what they believe is best for your children, but we're just missing a lot with this neurologic care. So in my experience with neurologic-based chiropractic care, what we found is that when you influence the nervous system, you influence everything. And actually, the nervous system has to be first. With my own child, we did a ton of supplements to try and balance her emotions and her sleep. We did different therapies, hands-on therapies. We did different like oral therapies, all of these different things. Felt like we were spinning our wheels. And That's when we're introduced to very specific pediatric neurological focused chiropractic care, assessing neurological stress patterns in the brain and nervous system, and then finally restoring balance to the nervous system, helping the brakes get pumped, enhancing that brain-body connection. This needs to be the first step because it's going to help our kids thrive emotionally, behaviorally, and physically in all regards. The nervous system has to come first. And once that's balanced, then that's when the supplements, that's when the herbs, that's when the vitamins, that's when they actually work better because your body can utilize them better. That's when some of these other therapies actually work better because your brain is then a sponge. It's not in survival mode. The brain has to come first. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a little bit today about the nervous system and how our kids are struggling, but there is hope, and I want to encourage you.